have table reads, you know exactly what you're doing. Earlier, that was not the case. You know, movies were made on energy and instinct and passion, and we would go on set and magic was created.
I think so. People keep on asking what is the change between the 90s and now. Both has their pluses and minuses, but I think so the discipline and time management of today's time is definitely fantastic.
You go from judging Bambi to actually feeling bad for Bambi quite fast, because imagine somebody whose whole life, whose highs, whose lows, whose sense of self, sense of identity is pretty much just on the superficial level.
All the credit to the correct directors that I've worked. The talent was always there. ऐसा नहीं है कि director उनके talent निकालेगा. But sometimes
you couldn't bear it.
No,
it gave too much away.
No,
But the talent was always there.
Hey, because it's there because
Absolutely.
yeah.
Hello everyone, this is Aina and welcome to Instant Bollywood. उस रात ये कहाँ थे Royal Delhi Club में? We'll find out. Joining me in a conversation is the cast and maker of Murder Mubarak. So nice to have you all. Welcome to Instant Bollywood.
Thank you for having us.
You know, I'm going to start off by asking Homie sir that, there's so much chaos going on in the trailer and it's looking beautiful. But how do you make sure that you simplify this chaos during the making process so that it translates on screen?
I think the sort of density of the chaos that you're talking about comes across in something like a trailer or a promo.
Yeah.
The luxury of having time in a feature film allows you to sort of mitigate the amount of chaos, and it's not just all in your face. So yeah, it's peppered through and through. So there's a lot of entertainment throughout this slightly grisly murder investigation.
Yeah. And how do you come up with the name Murder Mubarak? Because I think it's so
I
witty.
think I'm not sure, but I think my writers, Suprotim and Ghazal, came up with the name Murder Mubarak, because I remember when I was given the script and I was asked if I want to make this film, it already had Murder Mubarak written on it. Yeah.
Karishma ma'am, for you, I want to ask that, like you said, that you're very particular and selective about the kind of work that you're doing. When you signed up Murder Mubarak, the first thing that came in my head was, what draws her towards this film and go for an ensemble versus something that, could be completely about her?
So I just did something which was about me, but it's coming after this.
Okay.
So I think then I was like, I want to do something fun and different, and I think Homie is a fantastic director and an old friend also. Yeah. And with this wonderfully talented cast, I was like, why not do something lighter and nicer? Because I just completed Brown, which was very intense. Yeah. So that's how it came about, and I think it was a really fun shooting. Like I said, Homie is a fantastic maker. We all got along so well, and I think after Hum Saath Saath Hai, I've done an ensemble cast where I've had such a good time.
Absolutely, and like you said that you've seen the era where it was amazing for superstars. Today we're in the era where it's amazing for any actor. What kind of a difference have you witnessed in before and after in terms of set?
I think everything is much more streamlined today. You get a bound script, you have table reads, you know exactly what you're doing. Earlier that was not the case. You know, movies were made on energy and instinct and passion, and we would go on set and magic was created.
Yeah.
At least we know, what is happening, which I think it's much more organized in the way of working. And definitely I think today it's a great time in film, in cinema, to be working, whether you're 15 years old or 75 years old. There's a role for everyone, be it male or female. Yeah. So I think it's a great time for films.
Safe to say,
and for actors.
Safe to say you're enjoying more now, or?
I think though that time was extremely special, and I'm really enjoying this time now. So I can't really choose.
Yeah.
I think that the time management has really changed now. The discipline and the time management today, when you're called on set for a 9 o'clock shift at 8 o'clock, you can be sure that by 9:15, 9:30 you'll be on set and you'll be shooting. So the time management, the value, what you do today in a 10-hour shoot or a 12-hour shoot probably would take 2 days earlier to shoot that kind of a thing. There's more discipline. I think so. People keep on asking what is the change between the 90s and now. Both has their pluses and minuses, but I think so the discipline and time management of today's time is definitely fantastic.
Because everything is extremely organized.
And everybody
in
knows
place.
their job. They're all professionals in every field, so that's really nice.
The downside is that I think we would have enjoyed spending more time together,
Yeah.
but we knocked off the entire shoot in less than 40 days.
Yeah.
And then everyone was sent packing home.
That's quick.
Yeah.
It was insane how quick it was and how much he's packed in so little time.
Yeah.
And to have 6 of us are here, and then Pankaj sir and Dimple ma'am is there, and then there are a host of other 6-7 key characters. So really big cast. He's managed to put us all in one place and manage his time so well.
I think great for us too, because you all do more projects and then we meet you all more than once a year. Sarah, I want to know that, like you said in the trailer launch, Bambi is coming from a place of privilege, but she's a little oblivious to the fact that she is coming from the place of privilege. Have you met people in the industry or probably just around you where they are coming from a privileged place, but they are not very, they have these first world problems or not very aware of that and kind of gotten inspired for your role?
It sounds really shady, but like there's a huge voice in me that's telling me not to answer your question. And I don't want to ignore it.
Yeah.
So I won't answer your question.
Okay.
Wait, I thought you said you don't
I thought you-
or the question.
I don't want to ignore.
thought you were torn.
I don't want to ignore the voice. Like it's not the right question.
Okay. But is there some kind of inspiration that you've taken?
I definitely think so. From whatever I realize, I think that every character in Homi Sir's film is like a slightly hyper-real version of themselves. Whether you're showing like a heroine, whether you're showing like a paranoid mother, whether you're showing a socialite, whether you're showing like this young, entitled girl, but I think they're all slightly more hyper-real, so they are definitely more exaggerated versions than what I have seen around me at least. And as far as Bambi is also concerned, I think that the interesting thing about her is that even her privilege comes with an element of naivety to it. Because she's not entitled in an arrogant way, she's entitled in a slightly indifferent and doesn't know any better kind of way, And I think that there's a almost simplicity in the privilege that Bambi has, which is why it was interesting to play her, because it wasn't just like this rich, spoiled brat. It was just a girl who belongs to this club and who knows no other world but this club. Which actually, if you truly understand it, you go from judging Bambi to actually feeling bad for Bambi quite fast. Because imagine somebody whose whole life, whose highs, whose lows, whose sense of self, sense of identity is pretty much just on the superficial level.
Yeah.
It can actually be really hollow and empty, not just glitzy and glamorous and enviable. And I think that bringing that human element, instead of just talking about the privilege, if you actually think about how maybe she must be feeling at night, knowing that everybody around her is fake, or maybe not even knowing that everybody around her is fake, and then how sad is that?
Yeah.
So I think there's actually a very touching layer to Bambi. It's not just gloss and frivolous behavior. I think it can be quite sad to be, to believe, and it's quite relevant in today's day and age, if I may say so, in the social media era or in a time where everybody cares so much about the way they're perceived. It can actually be really sad and lonely if that defines your entire existence. So it was actually quite interesting and liberating to play Bambi, and it was a great privilege to constantly remind myself that I'm grateful that I'm not really her in real life.
Yeah. And then there's a side of you also that plays roles that is so far from reality, like we were discussing, like there's an Atrangi and there's an Evatan. Which do you enjoy more as an actor? Something that's a little closer to reality or further?
I think that my favorite thing about my profession, honestly, is to be able to do versatile and different things.
Yeah.
Like, I met you just the other day talking about Evatan Mere Vatan, and there I'm playing Usha, who's the freedom fighter, who has nothing in common with Bambi. And I think that's just fun. And I think thus far I've played slightly more rooted Indian characters from Kedarnath to Zara Hatke to Atrangi. So it's actually been really fun this month, especially when I'm getting to promote both these films, where I think I'm seeing two very different sides of me. One urban, glamorous, one like period and, almost hopefully inspirational. So they're very different things, and it's always nice to unlearn and recreate as opposed to just do the same thing again and again. Which is why I'm really lucky that I got this opportunity with Homie Sir, because he is one person that I think is absolutely not into too much rehearsal. He just wants you to come, breathe your character and be free and kind of live in the moment, which I think was very important because like I mentioned, I'm wanting to kind of unlearn where I've come from and just be able to recreate and do new things and learn and grow and work with different kinds of makers and do different kinds
Just finished the full time of the interview.
Okay. But it's going to be...
Curious.
That was it, guys.
Hello, okay.
No.
So nice to
I'm
meet you all.
left with the last two questions.
After a 45-minute monologue.
Was it long?
Oh my God, means
was a bit-
Lolo has fallen asleep about 7
I'm
times.
so sorry, Lulu.
Twice I had to tap her.
She had to wash, we had to tap her, she had to wash
Yeah,
her
I think
eyelids
Lolo
with
doesn't look
coffee.
nice.
Some of my coffee, maybe I'm talking too much.
I'm going to quickly, before my time actually ends, ask...
Not ask Sarah
Don't
another
ask me more
question.
questions.
I'm going to ask Vijay a question. Vijay has so many thriller, shows and films. The first thing that came in my head is like, you're doing this thriller with Homie who would have a different touch for his thriller. Then you're going to another director doing a thriller with a different touch. How are you kind of satisfying every director's vision of thriller?
Sorry, come again?
Fun
How am I able to satisfy
Talented
every director's...
Vision of thriller, because you're switching from, different directors, but the genre and the essence is being the same.
yeah, but it's just like, it's not... yeah. I don't know how to answer this.
He's a director pleaser.
Very different from
Yeah, I feel the milieu is different.
Very different.
It's set in a completely different environment. Sometimes it is a completely different relationship dynamics, which is where I focus at. Mostly I'm just thinking about what are the relationships that I'm playing out on screen, because a person is incomplete without the kind of relationship that that person has with people, with places and with events. So I'm only thinking about these things when I'm creating characters. I'm not looking at the, what is, ye usme murder kab hoga, ya kaun karega. So you are playing a person who is relating to things and people and events around, and there is no commonality there. For instance, in Murder, this is the first time I approached a part where who's intensely in a failed romance, in a way that there's some reciprocation which is misunderstood, and sometimes he's not getting the kind of attention that he thinks he should get. So it's a very unique experience for me on screen, and I feel like that is what I focus on. Overall, stories must be about a certain crime, but I am playing a person in the midst of all these things. So I'm focusing on the person and the dynamics the person shares with people around.
Not the genre.
Not the genre. It's never.
Sanjay sir, for you, the kind of work you've been doing since the past few projects on OTT are so lovely. Is it safe to say you've gotten super comfortable in the OTT space coming from films?
Yeah, actually, I would say that I've, of late, last 6-7 years, I've worked with some brilliant directors.
Yeah.
So, OTT, I think so. Also, there is a, the pressure is probably when I started in 90s, there was too much of expectations. It's false expectations. You're meant to do something. You're supposed to do this. I think so. This space is. I think so. I'm more comfortable with, working with these brilliant directors, where the content is very important. The way you look or anything is not that important. You can just let go. And I think so. I'm just finding it very comfortable working with these directors. And I think so. That's the reason people, in the past 7-8 years, I think so. It started actually with Luck by Chance, where they are really loving my work. And I think so. I give all the credit to the correct directors that I've worked. The talent was always there. ऐसा नहीं है कि director को talent निकालेगा. But sometimes
You couldn't bear it.
No.
But someone
too much away.
recognizes it,
But
the talent was always there.
Hey, because it's there because
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just that sometimes you get into the right projects and with the right director. So yeah, I think so. That's the thing. And yes, of course, I'm loving it. And because of OTT, I want to add. Earlier it was after a certain age, if you don't sell, you don't get work.
Yeah.
Today that is not the thing. Today Jamtara is there where nobody knew those actors, and today all those actors are doing well. and that show was still successful. So today, what I'm trying to say, today the time is different. Okay, if you are talented and you are doing a right kind of work, you're there. People
Content
want to
is
work
Yeah.
with you. So it's not, there's no pressure. ये यार इसके 100 करोड़ का धंधा नहीं करती हो 150 की बिके ही इतने में. All that is not there. You can get a great role today at this age also. I'm very young though, but
Yeah.
age is a number.
Blossoming.
It is just a number.
Age is just a number. Yeah.
This is the highest degree of comedy that you've done, and comedy is actually the most difficult genre according to what actors have said. Was it like the most challenging for you as well, because you've not done this before in your previous project?
Certainly it was challenging, most certainly. It was challenging the first couple of days. I was fumbling, I was very anxious. I didn't know what I was doing, I wasn't sure how it was coming out. I wasn't sure if I was being able to meet the expectations that the director had of me. But then I saw the method that he was working with, and I saw the kind of energy that was bouncing on set, and I saw the improvisational quality that was so much a part of this film. And I was like, don't overthink this, just go with the flow, know your character, know your part, and just flow. And that's what I did. And then, of course, I kept looking at Homie after every take, and he would just be like, I won't repeat what
Oh, thank you.
you would say.
You don't do
Yeah,
a
it's a
Very kind
mystery
of you.
since the trailer. This is a mystery since the trailer launch day.
Sorry?
What he says is a mystery since the
Yeah.
trailer launch day.
Yes,
because we
it
are
is.
unaware.
I think
Nobody knows what he says.
To me also. Because the way she says what I say, if none of us can understand what she's saying. Okay, keep quiet now.
I was on the tip of
I
my
saw.
tongue.
Yeah, and lastly, Sohail, for you, how is it experiencing and working with such iconic actors, on this particular project?
ठीक
ठीक ही था.
ही था नहीं मैं बहुत ये नहीं है
We're running out of time. It was okay.
it was amazing
अच्छा था. Okay, चलो.
amazing I've been like huge fan of a lot of people my cast members, so I was always in awe of, and my first day on set was with Pankaj sir and Tiska ma'am,
Yeah.
and I was a bit nervous because first days are always a little challenging. And after I did my thing, I got a call from Humi. I was at my place in Delhi, and he was like, my wife is a fan of yours now. She wants to talk to you.
And that's tough. That's
It
tough.
is.
Yeah,
And
it
Aida
is.
wanted to
I
talk
know.
to him because she was watching the scene being shot.
So then I thought, "Sab sahi hai."
Yeah.
Yeah, night है ना हमको तो phone
I didn't get that, so.
Yeah, never.
He was a surprise factor. She expected talent of that level from you.
No, but कुछ.
Person.
Call would be appreciated.
I want to get that call
हम
from.
तो तारीफ के भूखे.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
All the best for Murder Mubarak.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.